from secretly dating her on-screen husband, Bubba Ray, to being linked with her father's childhood friend, Brutus Beefcake, and even facing backstage rumors about her close bond with Chris Park. Hulk Hogan's daughter, Brooke Hogan, has been the subject of many wrestling world whispers. Let's start with the most confirmed one, her relationship with Mark LaMonaco, better known as Bubba Ray Dudley, or Bully Ray. What began as a scripted storyline soon turned into a real-life romance that became one of TNA's most talked-about angles. Born on July 14, 1971, in Queens, New York, LaMonaco built a legendary career as one half of the Dudley Boys, a tag team that changed wrestling forever with their hardcore style in ECW before moving to WWE and later TNA. But it was his 2011 transformation into Bully Ray, a tough biker-style villain that led to one of wrestling's most controversial love stories. The on-screen romance between Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan kicked off in mid-2012 during TNA's Aces and Eights storyline, a mystery biker gang wreaking havoc across the company. Bully, now portrayed as a reformed bad guy turned hero, had teamed up with Hulk Hogan and Sting to fight against the chaos. Then, in October 2012, during a shocking post-Bound for Glory segment, Austin Aries revealed that Brooke had been secretly dating Bully Ray behind her father's back, sparking huge drama not just because of the betrayal, but also the noticeable age gap. Bully was 41, while Brooke was only 24. The storyline took a dramatic turn when Bully proposed to Brooke on Impact Wrestling in December 2012, with Hulk Hogan reluctantly giving his blessing. This led to a much-hyped wedding segment on January 17, 2013, featuring ECW legends as guests and Taz as the officiant. However, the ceremony quickly spiraled into chaos when Taz revealed himself as a member of Aces and Eights, leading to a shocking attack on the wedding party. The ultimate twist came at Lockdown on March 10, 2013, when Bully defeated Jeff Hardy for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship with help from the Aces and Eights, only to reveal that he had been the group's president all along. On the microphone, he admitted that his entire relationship with Brooke had been a calculated move to get closer to the title, leaving her heartbroken on screen. What made this angle even more fascinating was what happened off-camera. In a 2013 interview on the Hollywood Raw podcast, Brooke revealed that Bully Ray had actually asked her father's permission to take her out during the storyline's development. She described him as super nice, funny, and really cool, saying his personality made him attractive even though he wasn't her usual type. They went on a few real dates, blending their on-screen romance with genuine off-screen chemistry. Bully Ray later confirmed this in a 2014 appearance on the Opie and Anthony radio show, admitting they did have a short-lived relationship outside the ring. However, the real-life romance came to an end when Brooke began to suspect that Bully was still involved with TNA knockout Velvet Sky. In fact, Bully and Velvet had been in an on-and-off relationship since around 2010, and by 2014, Bully confirmed that he was officially dating her. The two later got engaged in 2016, though their relationship eventually ended in 2023. While that chapter of Bully's love life was certainly real, the next rumored connection in Brooke's story came purely from an on-screen storyline that had fans speculating for years. Randy Orton, the legend killer himself, became linked to Brooke Hogan during one of WWE's most personal and heated feuds back in 2006. Although their romance only existed on television, the chemistry they displayed, combined with the era's reality TV crossover, fueled plenty of rumors about a possible off-screen spark. Randy Orton, born on April 1st, 1980 in Knoxville, Tennessee, comes from wrestling royalty. His grandfather, Bob Orton Sr., father Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., and Uncle Barry Orton all made their names in the industry. After serving briefly in the U.S. Marine Corps, Orton joined WWE's developmental system in 2000 and rose quickly through the ranks. By the age of 24, he made history as the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in WWE, defeating Chris Benoit at SummerSlam 2004. Randy Orton's legend killer persona, known for targeting wrestling icons and fierce rivalries, made him the perfect villain for a storyline against Hulk Hogan. The angle began on the July 15th, 2006 episode of Saturday Night's Main Event, where Hulk and Brooke shared a touching backstage moment that was suddenly interrupted by Orton. Playing the arrogant heel, he openly flirted with Brooke, making suggestive comments and implying he could show her a good time. This immediately triggered Hulk's protective fatherly instincts and set the stage for their highly anticipated SummerSlam 2006 showdown. In the weeks that followed, the build-up became increasingly personal as Orton's promos featured bold and flirtatious digs aimed at Brooke. One of the most talked-about segments aired on July 31st, 2006, when Orton brought out a fake Hogan family, including a fake Brooke, and mockingly kissed her on screen, intensifying the tension. Brooke appeared occasionally throughout the feud, often showing a mix of discomfort and curiosity, which added emotional depth to what was shaping up as a generational clash. The rivalry reached its peak at SummerSlam on August 20th, 2006, where Hulk defeated Orton after his classic big boot and leg drop combination, pinning him clean in the center of the ring. After the match, Orton shook Hulk's hand in a rare show of respect, ending the storyline. What kept the rumors alive, however, was the timing and public context. At just 18 years old, Brooke was transitioning into adulthood under the constant spotlight of Hogan Knows Best, a reality show that often showed Hulk monitoring her dating life with an overprotective eye. Fans couldn't help but speculate whether the Orton storyline was inspired by real-life tensions, especially given Orton's early WWE reputation as a charming playboy both inside and outside the ring. Randy Orton's off-screen reputation only added fuel to the rumors. He divorced his first wife, Samantha Spano, in 2013 after several personal struggles, and his bad boy image, combined with Brooke's rising fame and the deeply personal nature of their 2006 storyline, kept tabloids and wrestling forums buzzing about whether there was any real attraction beyond the cameras. But if the idea of Brooke being linked to the legend killer shocked fans, and likely her father, imagine Hulk's reaction to the next rumored connection, this time with a masked monster from TNA's hardcore division, Chris Parks, better known as Abyss. The monstrous figure of Abyss stands out as one of the most intriguing possibilities from Brooke's TNA era. Born on October 4th, 1973 in Washington, D.C., Christopher Joseph Parks created one of TNA's most unforgettable characters, a masked, deranged powerhouse inspired by horror icons and heavy metal culture. Raised in Cleveland, Ohio, his massive 6'8", 300-pound frame made him a standout athlete in both football and wrestling during high school. He earned a football scholarship to Ohio University, but injuries shifted his path toward professional wrestling. Under the training of Roger Ruffin in 1995, Parks began his career on the independent circuit and later captured the WWC Universal Heavyweight Championship in Puerto Rico in 2001. By 2002, he had signed with TNA and debuted as Abyss, a terrifying, unhinged monster managed by Father James Mitchell. His dramatic entrances, often involving chains, thumbtacks, and his infamous weapon, Janus, a two-forker wrapped in barbed wire and nails, cemented his reputation as one of the most fearsome figures in TNA history. The Black Hole Slam became Abyss's signature finishing move, a devastating maneuver that cemented his status as TNA's resident hardcore specialist. His violent and fearless style earned him the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in 2007 when he defeated Sting at Genesis, making him the first true TNA homegrown talent to ever hold the title. The rumored connection between Abyss and Brooke Hogan began to surface during TNA's 2012-2013 era, when storylines often placed them side by side. Back in 2010, shortly after Hulk Hogan's arrival in TNA, Abyss had aligned himself with Hogan in a memorable segment where Hulk gifted him his WWE Hall of Fame ring, claiming it would give Abyss special powers. This established an on-screen mentor-protege relationship that would later develop into more complex storytelling. When Brooke joined TNA in May 2012 as the on-screen executive of the Knockouts division, Abyss had already shifted into his Joseph Park alter ego, a timid, suit-wearing lawyer who was supposedly Abyss's brother. During the Aces and Eights invasion storyline, both the Abyss and Joseph Park characters became deeply involved in protecting the Hogan family. At Slammiversary 2013, Abyss made a dramatic return in a Monsters Ball match, merging his split personalities to help the Hogans in their battle against Bully Ray following his betrayal of Brooke. These storylines led to frequent backstage segments and physical interactions between Brooke and Chris Parks, with some fans noting an undeniable chemistry that seemed to go beyond the demands of the script. Naturally, speculation began to swirl among viewers and wrestling forums, wondering if the bond between them extended beyond the ring. Abyss's monstrous persona stood in sharp contrast to Brooke's glamorous celebrity image, creating an unexpected dynamic that quickly became a topic of discussion across wrestling forums. His protective presence around Brooke during the Aces and Eights storyline, combined with his earlier link to Hulk Hogan through the Hall of Fame ring angle, placed him in a unique position within the Hogan family circle. Reports from that TNA period hinted at a friendly backstage relationship between Brooke and Chris Parks during tours, with some wrestling news outlets suggesting that their interactions occasionally went beyond simple professional collaboration, though nothing was ever confirmed. The demanding nature of their on-screen work, especially in the hardcore segments that required physical trust and close coordination, may have naturally created a deeper connection between them. What made this rumor particularly fascinating was the contrast between Parks' off-screen personality and his terrifying in-ring alter ego. In real life, Chris Parks is known to be intelligent, humble, and well-spoken, holding a marketing degree from Ohio University. The combination of brains and intensity, the calm professional behind the mask of a deranged monster, might have been exactly the kind of complexity that appealed to Brooke, who herself was navigating a complicated relationship with the wrestling business and her family's legacy. And from the horror-inspired giant Abyss, Brooke's rumored romantic timeline next leads to one of wrestling's most charismatic and outspoken figures, the self-announcing superstar Ken Anderson, better known to WWE fans as Mr. Kennedy. The self-announcing showman Mr. Kennedy real name Kenneth Anderson, became linked to Brooke Hogan during a time when both were finding their footing in the WWE landscape, sparking rumors that circulated through wrestling's gossip circles for years. Born on March 6, 1976, in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, Anderson brought a unique mix of charisma, athleticism, and sharp mic skills to WWE's mid-2000s roster. Before stepping into the ring, he served in the U.S. Army from 1994 to 1998 as a military policeman, later pursuing professional wrestling by training at the All-Star Championship Wrestling School in Green Bay. He made his debut in 1999 on the Midwest Independent Circuit under the name Kamikaze Ken, showcasing a flashy, confident style that he would later refine into his iconic Mr. Kennedy persona, a loud, self-announcing heel who dramatically shouted his own name twice for effect. Anderson's WWE debut came in August 2005 on SmackDown, where he quickly gained attention with an undefeated streak and feuds against veterans like Hardcore Holly and Booker T. His charisma and over-the-top bravado paid off when he captured the United States Championship by defeating Finlay at No Mercy. 2006. Kennedy's career peaked in 2007 after winning the Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania 23, earning a world title shot, though a misdiagnosed triceps injury forced him to surrender the contract to Edge shortly after. His rumored connection with Brooke Hogan surfaced during the same mid-2000s window when Brooke was appearing on WWE programming to promote her music. Between 2005 and 2007, her guest appearances overlapped perfectly with Kennedy's rise as one of WWE's top villains, fueling whispers that their on-screen interactions may have led to something more off-camera. Mr. Kennedy's cocky, trash-talking persona and his willingness to provoke wrestling legends naturally clashed with Hulk Hogan's image as the protective father, creating instant on-screen tension. Gossip sites and wrestling forums soon began buzzing with whispers of a possible forbidden crush, painting Kennedy as the kind of bold, rule-breaking wrestler who could both intrigue Brooke and horrify her father. The idea had undeniable appeal. Kennedy was charismatic, successful, and carried that dangerous charm that made him must-see television. At the time, he was single and known for his unshakable confidence, which often bordered on arrogance, a trait that could easily catch the attention of someone like Brooke navigating fame in the intense world of professional wrestling. The speculation grew stronger due to Kennedy's real-life backstage reputation. Despite his talent, he had friction with major names like Randy Orton and John Cena over in-ring mistakes, which fueled his image as someone who didn't always follow the rules. That rebellious streak might have been exactly what drew Brooke's curiosity as she tried to carve out her own identity, separate from her father's massive shadow. Entertainment tabloids even hinted at sightings of the two at WWE events and after-parties, where the roster often mingled following TV tapings. Given Kennedy's status as a rising star at the time, it's likely he attended the same social gatherings Brooke did during her promotional appearances. The WWE locker room in that era was known for its close-knit and often dramatic social environment, where friendships and flings frequently formed amid the pressures of touring and production. What made this particular rumor especially compelling was how closely it aligned with the Hogan Knows Best era, a time when Brooke's real and televised worlds often overlapped, blurring the line between public image and private life. The reality show Hogan Knows Best often portrayed Hulk's deep paranoia about Brooke dating wrestlers, which almost became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Any friendly interaction Brooke had with WWE talent quickly turned into gossip material. Mr. Kennedy, with his arrogant heel persona and outspoken attitude, perfectly fit the type of wrestler who would spark Hulk's protective instincts, and that tension made the idea of a romance between them all the more captivating to fans. But what if Brooke had drawn the attention of someone who had grown up idolizing her father, a connection that bridged wrestling generations? That's where the name Adam Copeland, better known to fans as Edge, the rated R superstar, enters the story. Edge's name became linked to Brooke Hogan during a time when the boundaries between WWE and TNA were beginning to blur, creating an atmosphere ripe for crossover rumors. Born on October 30th, 1973, in Orangeville, Ontario, Canada, Adam Joseph Copeland went on to build one of the most celebrated careers in wrestling history. Raised by his hard-working single mother, Judy, who juggled multiple jobs, Edge often credits her determination as the foundation of his own relentless drive. As a kid, he was obsessed with wrestling, and especially with Hulk Hogan. In fact, he attended WrestleMania 6 in 1990, where Hogan's loss to the Ultimate Warrior inspired young Adam to chase his dream of becoming a wrestler himself. Training at Sully's gym in Toronto, he began wrestling on the independent circuit in 1992 before signing with the WWF in 1997. His official main roster debut came in June 1998, and his career skyrocketed when he reunited with his real-life best friend, Jason Riso, known to fans as Christian. Together, as Edge and Christian, the duo won the WWF Tag Team Championship 7 times and helped redefine tag team wrestling with their overconfident comedic personas and their legendary TLC matches against the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Edge's singles career brought him even greater success, with 11 World Championships to his name, 7 WWE Championships, and 4 World Heavyweight titles. He made history in 2006 by cashing in the very first Money in the Bank contract against John Cena, a moment that changed WWE storytelling forever. His rated R superstar persona, especially his controversial storyline with Lita, made him one of the most captivating villains in wrestling history. In 2011, Edge was forced to retire suddenly due to a serious neck condition called cervical spinal stenosis, as doctors warned that continuing to wrestle could leave him paralyzed. A year later, he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame and seemed ready to move on from life inside the ring. The rumors linking Edge to Brooke Hogan surfaced around 2012, during the early phase of her time in TNA. Brooke was working as the Knockouts executive on Impact Wrestling, appearing regularly alongside her father, Hulk Hogan, who was then the show's general manager. Edge, newly retired and exploring various projects, often appeared at industry events and wrestling conventions where their paths could have crossed. Fans began to speculate after noticing several connections. Edge had grown up idolizing Hulk Hogan and had even shared storylines with him in WWE, creating a natural link between them. At the same time, Edge was transitioning out of wrestling just as Brooke was becoming more involved in it, which fans found interesting. Wrestling gossip sites also mentioned possible sightings of the two at charity events and conventions where both the Hogans and Edge were present. During that time, wrestling conventions were booming with both retired and active wrestlers appearing together for fan signings and media events, giving the rumor plenty of room to grow. What gave this rumor even more attention was Edge's relationship status during that period. He had publicly dated Lita, Amy Dumas, from 2005 to 2006, a relationship that was controversial both on and off screen. By 2011 and 2012, Edge was dating Beth Phoenix, who he would later marry in 2016. Still, that in-between phase sparked speculation about possible other connections within the wrestling world. The idea made sense to fans. Edge had everything a company like TNA could want: legendary status, mainstream fame, charisma, and a strong crossover appeal that could boost the promotion's visibility. If he had ever considered joining TNA, a link to the Hogan family might have made that transition smoother, making any personal connection with Brooke seem even more intriguing from both personal and business perspectives. But if the thought of Brooke dating her father's childhood idol sounded complicated, the next rumored connection crossed into even more sensitive territory. Hulk's real-life best friend and longtime companion, Ed Leslie, better known to fans as Brutus the Barber Beefcake. This was perhaps the most uncomfortable and complex rumor of them all. Edward Harrison Leslie, born on April 21, 1957 in Tampa, Florida, wasn't just another wrestler from Hulk's circle. He was a lifelong friend. The two grew up together in Tampa, trained side by side, and made their professional debuts as a tag team in 1977. Early on, they were even billed as brothers to take advantage of their close bond, wrestling under names like Ed Boulder and Terry Boulder, and later as Dizzy Hogan and Hulk Hogan. Their friendship would shape both of their careers, with Leslie often receiving major opportunities in WWE and WCW largely thanks to his enduring connection with Hogan. Leslie's most recognized persona was Brutus the Barber Beefcake, a flamboyant character known for cutting his defeated opponent's hair with giant shears after matches. He rose to fame as part of the Dream Team alongside Greg Valentine, with the duo capturing the WWF Tag Team Championship. However, in 1990, Leslie's career nearly ended when a parasailing accident shattered his facial bones, requiring over 100 feet of titanium wire and 32 screws to reconstruct his face. Despite this tragedy, his bond with Hulk Hogan remained unbreakable. Leslie continued to appear alongside Hogan in both professional and personal settings, especially during the Hogan Knows Best reality show era from 2005 to 2007, where he often appeared as a close family friend and uncle figure to Brooke and her brother Nick. The rumors connecting Leslie and Brooke emerged from this very closeness. Having been part of the Hogan family circle since Hulk's youth, Leslie had unrestricted access to their private lives and family gatherings, being present through much of Brooke's childhood and young adulthood. As Brooke entered her late teens and early 20s, striving to build independence and step out from her father's shadow, some observers began speculating about the nature of Leslie's ongoing presence. These whispers gained traction due to Leslie's own complicated personal history. He married Kirsten Gorgie in 1987, divorcing 4 years later, then married Barbara Mandel in 1993, with whom he had a daughter named Alana. That marriage ended in 2009 amid troubling allegations from Barbara about inappropriate dynamics within the Hogan-Leslie circle. The situation intensified in 2011 when Hulk's ex-wife, Linda, made shocking claims suggesting there was an intimate relationship between Hulk and Leslie, accusations that both men publicly and strongly denied. This public drama exposed the tangled and often dysfunctional nature of relationships within Hulk Hogan's inner circle. Barbara Mandel, Leslie's ex-wife, added to the confusion by making claims about inappropriate behavior that blurred the boundaries between friendship and family. During the reality TV era, cameras frequently captured Leslie inside the Hogan household, where he was portrayed as a loyal family friend who had been part of their lives since before Brooke was born. His constant presence seemed normal at the time, but some entertainment outlets and wrestling forums later suggested there may have been moments when the dynamic appeared uneasy, particularly because of the large age difference in Leslie's position of trust. Speculation grew stronger around 2013 when Brooke appeared on Howard Stern's show and talked about her experiences growing up around wrestlers. While she never mentioned Leslie by name, her discussion of blurred boundaries in the wrestling world gave new life to old whispers about the Hogan family circle. Over the years, Leslie publicly accused Hulk of inappropriate behavior toward his own wife, sparking cycles of accusations and counter-accusations that repeatedly fractured their decades-long friendship. These ongoing feuds highlighted the chaos within their personal lives, making rumors about possible tension or impropriety toward Brooke seem more believable to outsiders. After Hulk's passing in July 2025, Leslie expressed deep regret over their falling out, remembering their relationship not through the lens of scandal, but as a brotherhood that had weathered both fame and failure. His current wife, Melissa Del Gloria Caruso, whom he married in 2014, later made claims about tension and drama surrounding Hulk Hogan's funeral, further underscoring the deep dysfunction that had long characterized their circle. While that situation involving a family friend stirred controversy, this next connection raised even more curiosity because it involved the other half of a tag team whose partner had already dated Brooke. Did lightning strike twice? Devon Hughes, better known as Devon Dudley, became linked to Brooke during the height of TNA's most chaotic period, when behind-the-scenes proximity and family-centered storylines blurred the line between fiction and reality. Born on August 1st, 1972, in New Rochelle, New York, Devon built a legendary reputation as one half of the Dudley Boys, a team that revolutionized tag team wrestling through their extreme table-smashing style. Known for his commanding preacher-like persona and the iconic "Testify" catchphrase, Devon perfectly complemented Bubba Ray Dudley's fiery intensity, helping define the TLC match era that became a cornerstone of wrestling's Attitude Era legacy. The rumored connection between Devon and Brooke surfaced during their shared TNA tenure between 2012 and 2013, when close creative collaborations became frequent. Brooke had joined the company in May 2012 as an on-screen executive for the Knockouts division, a position that came through her father Hulk's influence as TNA's general manager, placing her directly in the orbit of veteran stars like Devon and Bubba Ray during one of the company's most dramatic eras. This period aligned with the Dudley Boys' reunion in TNA as Team 3D, who were portrayed as loyal allies of the Hogan family in their feud against the villainous Aces and Eights biker gang. While Bubba Ray, also known as Bully Ray, took center stage in the much-publicized romantic storyline with Brooke, Devon's role as Bubba's tag team partner and on-screen brother placed him in frequent contact with the Hogans. Many segments positioned him as a protective family figure, often appearing alongside Brooke during the dramatic invasion angles involving Aces and Eights. These recurring interactions sparked speculation among fans and insiders alike. Wrestling forums and gossip sites began discussing Devon's uncle-like presence around Brooke, noting how often they shared scenes and wondering if there was any truth behind the apparent closeness. The Dudley Boys' entire gimmick was built around a complex web of fictional family ties, multiple brothers from different mothers, which already blurred the line between reality and storytelling. Combined with Brooke's well-documented family drama from Hogan Knows Best, it became difficult to separate the scripted narrative from real-life relationships. Reports from the TNA era frequently highlighted the strong backstage camaraderie between Devon and the Hogan family. Known for his family-oriented nature and strong moral values, Devon was said to bond with the Hogans over shared principles and mutual professional respect. Still, whispers circulated within wrestling circles about group outings, dinners, and promotional events where the Dudleys and the Hogans often crossed paths, naturally allowing those personal connections to deepen beyond the camera's view. Wrestling insiders have long hinted at the tangled personal dynamics that surrounded the Hogan family during their TNA run, often referencing Hogan family entanglements without ever naming specific individuals. This ambiguity naturally fueled speculation, especially given how prominently Devon featured during Brooke Hogan's entire TNA tenure. His close professional and personal proximity to the Hogans, combined with Brooke's confirmed real-life relationship with his tag team partner, Bully Ray, led some observers to wonder if there was a recurring pattern within the Dudley circle. What made this rumor particularly intriguing was the stark contrast between Devon's on-screen persona and his reported demeanor behind the scenes. On television, he embodied the stern, sermonizing disciplinarian, famous for his booming "Testify" catchphrase. Off-camera, however, accounts described him as warm, steady, and protective, qualities that reportedly extended toward Brooke. Some fans noted subtle moments during their limited on-screen exchanges that conveyed a genuine comfort and familiarity beyond what the Scripted storylines required. In the tightly knit and rumor-fueled world of wrestling, patterns rarely go unnoticed. Once Brooke's relationship with Bully Ray became public, fans began to re-examine her interactions with other members of the Dudley family through a different lens. Devon's frequent presence in Hogan family scenes, his guardian role during intense storylines, and his apparent inclusion in the family's off-screen circle created fertile ground for speculation.